Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 40 of My Mom Sandy. We are your hosts. I am Josh Fasten, and the woman next to me is drinking a cup of honey with a little bit of tea on top. This is My Mom Sandy.
Hello.
You had the giggles. Get your mic a little closer.
I have the giggles. Yeah, already. What were we laughing about?
The auctioneer. We'll have that at the end of the episode.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Episode 40. 40 episodes. How does it feel to be 40?
God, I wish I was. Really. That would be the life. Get to be my age and then go back.
Wait, what?
Go backwards. Backwards birthdays.
40. Episode 40.
Okay.
What does it feel like to be 40?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm not there yet.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of neat. 40 episodes.
I guess.
Did you think that? I mean, look, when we started this thing, because we're not to a year yet, but I mean, we're coming up on it.
Close, yeah.
Yeah,
we're getting close. Yeah, no, I didn't think we'd.
I mean, did you think? I mean, we've never put so much time into anything in our entire lives.
On top of that, the first few episodes were like so fucking easy to do because it was really, just telling the history of our family. My growing up, your growing up.
Well, we're gonna have another Growing Up Sandy, right? We're gonna do Growing Up Sandy Part 2.
We'll have to see if I can get my guest contributors to
come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Or contribute.
Yeah. I mean, even
somehow.
Even if they just wrote in an email like a story, I mean, it'd be more fun if they came on and chatted with us, but
I'm afraid the stories they might have to tell would not be suitable for
my Mom Sandy listening audience.
Yeah, for people that I don't want to know about that stuff. I mean, I think I've told you some of the things that.
Oh, you've told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ellie could fill your head with
bad
stuff that I was doing. Yeah, stuff that I was doing that probably wasn't great. And I had some of those experiences with Maxine as well. So. It was all fun. We had a great time.
That's what it's all about. Living life, right?
That's right.
Which is what we are not doing nowadays.
Oh, that's right. What are we on? Day 3,429?
Yes. So, still deep in the quarantine, self-distance, social distance, self-shelter. And,
are we having fun yet?
I do feel like over the last week, there's been a lot of things that have happened. And I think the first thing that I want to touch on was something I had shown you, or we had seen together, we had talked about, was that Mr. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, if you guys aren't privy to Barstool, I guess they do podcasts and whatnot, but the guy who runs it or started Barstool, I guess he started Barstool, he did a rant the other day on his Instagram page.
About going back to work.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it was a coronavirus rant.
Yes.
And we both
about us being able to go back to work. I mean, basically, I think that's pretty much where everybody is at this point.
Well, I mean, and I think he brought up some good points, right? Which I think one of which was that he talked about. That was good.
Excuse me.
One of which he talked about was,
where's our cough button?
We discussed. When this whole thing started, it was go home, stay at home, don't come outside.
Exactly what I said last week.
And help flatten the curve.
That's right.
And then his thing was well, when did flattening the curve turn into finding a cure, right?
Oh, and oh my God. I didn't realize this, but was it Eric Garcetti? No, it must have been Governor Gruesome.
I like sometimes when you say stuff, you'll go like this. You go, I didn't realize this. And then you do a long drawn out pause.
I just heard it today and I was stunned that one of their criteria for opening the state back up was no deaths in 14 days. It's are you fucking kidding me? I mean, how hard would that be?
Well, I mean,
it would have to be cured or go away, mysteriously disappear as it mysteriously did appear.
Which is what Sylvia Browne said in her.
That's right. I'm hoping that Sylvia Browne is
she's
was right on exactly, because it'd be nice if it just mysteriously disappeared.
I mean, look, I think that he brings up, and if you guys haven't seen it, go over to. Do you remember his Instagram account? Was it El Presidente?
I think it was.
Let me just double check. Not that anyone's going to go listen to this or watch this, but
I said pretty much exactly what he said last week. I mean, he said it in a much more forceful way for sure. But, yeah, it's like, when did it become, we'll open up once we get a cure.
Stool Presidente. Stool Presidente. President of the stool.
Is that like stool is like shit as well?
No, it's like bar stool.
I know, but
yeah.
Why isn't a bar stool?
I don't know, maybe that one was taken.
Okay.
So anyway, he had a rant. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 rows down. But yeah, so I mean, again, I think he brought up a lot of valid points. And I still feel like I sit somewhere in the middle of this whole thing, right? I don't want to see people die.
You're kind of like Switzerland, are you?
Okay.
Neutral.
I don't want to see people die.
Do you even get that?
Switzerland?
Yeah, neutral.
No. Are they a neutral country?
Yeah.
County?
Yeah.
The county of Swiss?
The county of Swiss? No. The country of Switzerland is a neutral country. They don't get involved in wars and stuff. They don't take sides.
Smart.
Traditionally, that's who they are.
I like that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
They didn't teach you that in school.
No, maybe. No. So,
you must have been sick that day.
I was sick.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to see people die. I don't like that where we are, in the middle of this global pandemic that, you can look at death rates and stuff from different countries and that sucks, right? I think that you also find yourself in a little bit of a comfortability kind of thing when you are not directly affected by it.
Comfortability.
Is that a word? Comfortability?
I don't know.
I think that sounded really good when I said it.
I was just thinking about what I was going to say next. So
you don't listen
kind
to
of flew by me. It was like, what's that?
Is that a word? Okay, so I think that we find ourselves being more comfortable.
Yes.
In a situation where we are not directly affected by it, right? Where we don't have a loved one, brother,
absolutely.
sister, aunt, grandfather, mother,
absolutely.
father, uncle, dog.
Always
right?
The way it's going to be. If
we don't have
somebody who's died that has had the disease, then we feel a little bit differently about it. But having said that, I don't know. The things that I hear that they've overreported the deaths, maybe by 25%, which is like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I've heard that, that if a person dies in a car crash and they tested positive for COVID, it's a COVID death. If a person commits suicide and they had COVID, it's a COVID death. It's not a suicide; it's COVID death.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I think that
how many deaths have? I mean, I guess what we never hear is how many people have recovered from it.
Well, no, they say that.
I don't hear that.
I feel like they do show that. Like,
No.
oh, here's how many cases, here's how many people died, and then I guess you're just supposed to use the power of mathematics to deduct.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you don't deduct, then you don't even know that stat is even available.
But what I want to know is
fucking crazy.
I want to know everything about the people that have died. That's what I want to know. People.
I heard today on the radio that there's only in LA County. There's only been there's only been like a hand. Excuse me. The tea's like loosening everything up.
Ooh,
drinking hot tea again
hot
tonight.
tea. What flavor do you like? Is that
lavender? And honey.
Sandy's famous honey
It's
lavender.
stress release.
Relief.
Release. I like to release my
You just
stress.
feel like it just floats out of you?
Yeah, it does. That's exactly what happens. It just comes right out of my fingertips. Look out.
Right into me.
That's right.
Perfect.
I could flash it right over to you. Where was I?
About the tea, loosening everything up.
No, before that.
You said you heard on the news.
Oh, there's
County?
only been like a handful of people that have died that have been under the age of 40 in LA County. I mean, most of the people that have died have been 70 years and older. So, I mean, and they're counting prisoners and assisted living facilities in with those stats, which kind of distorts it as well because, the prisoners wanted it, right? Didn't they try to spread it around? Now they got it.
But that's what I'm
Why
saying.
should we be penalized for that?
But that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I want to know. I want to know, hey, we've had whatever, let's just say 1,000 deaths. Okay, here's the 1,000 deaths. Guess what? 10% of these deaths were people that were over the age of 70.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Another 10% were people who had some sort of underlying health condition. Another 10% were prisoners who gave it to each other. Right?
If you can access the LA Times Sunday paper, there was an article in there about with those exact stats. Not only that, but breaking it down by ethnicity, which is kind of weird, but they did it anyway. Turns out that there's higher percentage of Hispanics.
I was going to say, yeah, I read that too. Hispanics are getting hit really hard.
Yeah. So I don't know if that has to do with, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you would think that
maybe family units live together, children, parents.
But yeah, or it could be something genetic, right? Like we don't know.
Yeah.
Like that. Like they don't know anything about this.
Well,
in
Italy, one of the things they said that created the worst part of the hit that the elderly people took was one of the factors was the fact that the extended family lives together. So you have children, parents, grandparents all living in the same home or like right next door. And so there's that constant exposure of the grandparents to the children. The children are going out. That's what they think, really created the
well. And you got to imagine,
to
some extent that applies to New York as well. You have people living very close to each other. You have people living like on top of each other. Not only that, but you're talking about a city that thrives on their public transportation. I
know. That's why
Subway.
I'll tell you, I'm so against public transportation.
Well, now, I mean, look.
I've always been, but go ahead.
I was in New York 2 years ago for Thanksgiving, and I had a great time. Beautiful city, amazing city. We rode the subway, but I had that thought where you get into the subway, and I usually had a jacket on because it was in November, and I would wrap the crook of my elbow, crick,
whatever,
the ditch of my elbow,
the ditch
around the
never heard it called that.
The subway, like the pole inside the subway.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're moving, you're just
yeah.
But in the back of my head, I was like, man, how many fucking hands
have
fucking touched this?
I know.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, how does New York? I mean, and not just New York, right? How does any city come back and have successful public transportation again? I mean, you couldn't fucking pay me to get on a subway, even an airplane right now, right? Like how much is airplane travel going to change? Think about that. For 5 hours, you're sitting literally on top of someone's lap,
Well, now they have to socially distance. The airlines are going to take a huge hit. Wow. That's a ghost.
Haunted paper.
That's right.
What's funny is like the people probably didn't hear
I know,
that.
I was just thinking.
And they definitely didn't see it.
Yeah, they don't know what's
there
going
was a
on.
paper that fell by itself. Yeah, I was reading something talking about how airlines and travel, like especially international travel, was going to change, and they were saying that like a check-in process could potentially take up to 4 hours because you have the.
Oh, what fucking kills me is that everybody's still on this. Take your temperature. They heard they opened up one of the Indian casinos today. Long fucking lines.
Which one, Pachanga?
No, Pachanga's scheduled for June 1st, I think.
Morongo?
No, Viega or something. I don't know. I don't know where it is. But long lines to get in. They were taking everybody's temperature as they came in. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why do we even go through that routine? I mean, I guess if somebody had a fever, then you wouldn't let them in. But I would imagine if they had coronavirus and they had a fever, they probably wouldn't be out gambling. I don't know.
I mean, I guess you're dealing with people who maybe are trying to maybe they wake up, they feel like maybe they don't feel well, but they're like, oh, I'm still okay. I can still go out.
I'm okay to go to the casino and gamble a little.
I mean, I don't know.
I got to be spending me money? That unemployment money that I just got. It's burning a hole in my pocket.
What I think is more interesting is the people who are getting tested and then going about their life, but then being like, well, I've tested negative. But it's like,
okay, well, today you were.
right.
What
So that's
happens
my thought is, and
tomorrow?
I've had people tell me like, well, we're okay. 'Cause I've tested. And I'm like, well, what have you done since you tested?
I know. It's
Have
like,
you gone to the grocery store?
It's like I said, every time you hang out with somebody, it's like,
Every time you walk out your fucking front door, right? I mean, essentially.
well, yes, but I'm going to say this is that if I'm walking on the street, I'm not wearing a fucking mask.
I know, because you're a rebel.
Not on these streets.
Sandy rebel.
No, it's like I'm going to tell you, I've had a lot of meetings lately with people, and which, by the way, was it Maddie who sent the the picture of the breakout on the face?
Yeah, face breakout.
What does she call it? Mask acne.
Mask acne.
Mask
Maskne.
acne. It was cute. Anybody else experiencing maskne? Anyway, what was I saying before?
Masks
that?
outside.
Oh, I see people wearing their masks outside, and I can't fucking breathe with it. I can't breathe. I can't talk. They're so uncomfortable. And I've had to wear them a lot lately to talk to people. I think it's one thing if you're not talking, but once you start talking or exerting, now you're breathing in a piece of cloth into your mouth. It's gross. It's like, oh my God, spit it out.
What I don't like is any amount of time past, like maybe the first hour that you have the mask on, because then like at least for me, like the mouth part of the mask starts getting like a little moist, and then
that's all the spittle you're saving
right.
other people from.
And then like we never knew.
That's why we have these spit
these
guards.
spit filters. But then like you don't,
God.
and then you're literally just, it's like being stuck in a very small room with just your own breath, like you're stuck in like a 3-inch by 3-inch room with your breath for hours.
Bad.
And at first, it's not like, like the first hour, you're like, oh, I brush my teeth, I put my mask on, like I'm okay. But by like hour 4 or 5, you're just like, man, my breath is stale, and you can't drink water because you have the mask on. So there's nothing
You have
quenching.
to be able to take the mask off.
You can't take it off.
Well, you can. What you have to do is you have to sanitize your hands
Yeah,
with your hand sanitizer. Take the mask off and then put another one on. Now it's dry. It's a bit more usable.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I know. I mean, like I said, today I met with somebody and I was talking with the mask on, and I swear it was like going in my mouth. I was like, oh my God, I can't stand it. I had to pull off the one ear,
I mean, look, I to be completely transparent, I went and saw my friend Leader and his. I
don't know why you just don't call him Peter.
Peter.
People they're like, who the fuck is Leader?
Anyone get a liter of soda?
His name is Peter.
By the way, I have their Nest doorbell.
Oh, you do?
I made the switch already.
You installed it already?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but when you log in, you have to log in Peter Piper 69. That's
Okay.
the login name.
Cool.
I don't know why you picked that.
That's weird. But okay.
So yeah, I mean, on Sunday, so they have a beautiful.
You went to a pool party. You shame on you.
I know,
You're
but
social distancing rebel.
Him and his girlfriend have this great house that they bought. I don't want to say what street it is, but it's close to us.
It's right down the street from us.
And he has this like 10-foot blow up pool. And, we were kind of joking about, getting together. And I mean, look, I haven't really seen him. We went for like a social distancing walk, I think, a week ago or something, which was nice,
Tough to talk. Somebody's got to walk backwards.
No, you just have
each
somebody who's 6 feet in front of you, and then the person in back just has to yell to them.
Yeah, that's
but you don't get
convenient.
to face each other now.
But here we have the one-way street, so you can actually walk in the street almost side by side.
Yeah, we did a little bit of that.
Yeah. But you have to be careful, of course.
But so it was bizarre because the pool, the little kiddie pool that he had is like a 10-foot pool. Yeah. So by him being on one side and I was on the other side, we were social distancing. But I will say, I mean, it was very odd because we each had like board shorts on, and I had like a straw sun hat as to not get fried, and then we had masks on. And we're sitting in the pool.
I know. I'm thinking people are going to start having mask lines on their face from wearing the masks outside.
But I mean, it was just because for a moment you felt normal,
but then
you realize like this is so
this guy
not
robbing
normal.
me or what?
Yeah.
Ay.
But yeah, I mean, and I was probably over there for a couple hours at least, and the whole time and then he would have like a beer. So he would like, he would like pull an ear off, not his actual ear. He left both ears on, but the strap, the elastic, and he would pull that off and like take a sip of beer. And I'm like, man, this sucks, And again, look, we have been very fortunate to not really have anyone in our very close
knock on wood
circle affected by this, right? But and look, I mean, it's when you really get down to the nitty gritty of it.
Well, you
do
know somebody who had it.
Yes.
Did his wife ever get it?
Who are you referring to?
I don't know, Rosie.
Oh yeah. No, his wife and his they have a daughter. She did not get it either.
Wow.
So, so I don't know, right? Like, but I mean, like in our immediate circle, right? We have not been,
right.
Fortunately, right. And you got to imagine that it's probably absolutely devastating and totally scary to have something like that affect you in that way.
Well, I wouldn't want to lose you to COVID.
I would not want to lose you to COVID.
Well, you might.
And if I did, I would start digging a hole in the front lawn. The neighbors were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's for my mom."
She wanted to live and die here.
This is her house.
That's right. Well, you'd have to cremate me first and then just put the urn in the front yard.
No.
Oh, you're just going to get rid of the body?
I'd have Peter come over. I'm like, you get her hands, I'll get her feet.
And then what? Where you think nobody's going to see you bury me in the front yard? It's hardly big enough.
I didn't kill you.
I know, but why would you want to bury me?
If you're dead, you get to stay at home with me.
Oh, okay. I thought you just put me back in my bed and
leave you in there.
Leave me in
Close
there.
the door.
Close the door.
Oh, we don't go in that room.
No, never.
We like go to sell the house.
What's that smell?
We go to sell the house.
I don't know.
The real estate agent's like, so this is a beautiful 2-bedroom.
That's right.
1.5 bath.
It used to be 3 bedrooms.
Like, well, what's in that bed? Oh, we don't go in that room. We don't
That's
go
right.
in that one.
It's locked.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's it is extremely scary, but there is a part of me, and this is why I get so torn. To go back to how we kind of started this episode, like I do get so torn about this thing where it's like what the Stool Presidente said, Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports. This is decimating the economy. This is crushing people's livelihood, absolutely crushing people, and we cannot go on and on and on letting that happen. B, there's a constitutional right for people to be able to put food on their table.
Yeah, you go with your constitutional rights. All right.
So that's one side of it.
Also called a civil right.
Civil right. But so that's one side, and then, the other side is, this is scary.
Yes, but I really wonder. I mean, I really don't want to downplay it because it is, they have proven that it's very contagious and can be very deadly. But having said that, I think that in the end we're going to find out that, maybe it wasn't as bad as it was predicted to be in some places. I'm sure, like New York has been hit pretty hard. Our death toll here is really not that high. And again, you have to wonder how many people have recovered from it. I mean, now they're saying they have more tests than they have people who want tests.
Which is great.
I know, but, but again, why would you even... It's like you knew somebody who was going to go have a test. And I said, do they have symptoms? No. Well, okay, so like you said, if you test negative today... That doesn't mean in 5 days that you're still going to be negative.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily see, unless the plan is, hey, I'm going to go get tested, and if I don't have it, I'm literally just hunkering down in my house, and I have 8 weeks.
And never going out.
Right, never going out. Like I have 8 weeks worth of groceries, and I'm not leaving the house for 8 weeks. Yeah, right? Which I don't know. Maybe that's the thought process, but I don't understand the idea of I'm going to go get tested, or maybe you're going to
get tested once a week.
Well, or if you're going to go be around other people, right?
Yeah.
But even then, you get tested, you don't have it. Now you go be around a bunch of people. You better go get tested again right after you're around those people because you might have it.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
It's crazy.
So
I think better to test for the antibodies and see if you've had it and develop the antibodies. They are having some promising results with the vaccine, testing a vaccine right now.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, and they're showing that that the people, they have like 3 different groups of people that are doing it, and that they're all building antibodies. They're having different doses, but I think maybe daily. I'm not sure. But anyway, they're all developing antibodies as though they had the disease and recovered from it.
Could you imagine being one of those testers and you like...
I fucking wouldn't want to... I mean...
You have all these antibodies, but you start growing like an eye on your cheek.
Yeah. Look what it did to me.
Your fucking penis splits off into 2 separate penis.
Which reminds me, what was that word we heard tonight?
I think it was peni. Peni? Filipini?
No, it was peni.
What was it in reference to?
It was in reference to a Filipino... I don't know, Filipino man or a Filipino woman.
And this was not something we said. I don't want people to think that this was on television. We're just quoting what we
90
heard.
Day Fiancé, and they were in the Philippines, and they were referring to finding a Filipino mate, and they called that person, again, I don't know if they were referring to a man or a woman, a peni. I was like, what? It's like, didn't we have a Coach Peni?
Did you have Coach Little Penis?
Little Peni?
Did you have a feeling where you're like, oh my God, they watched that or they listen?
I know. It's like, have you guys been listening to our podcast or what? Oh my gosh.
All right. So, I mean, promise. So, look, I think what would be great is if the end of the year comes and we have a vaccine, or some sort of treatment. I don't know if I'm going to be the first one to go out and let them inject me with something.
No, as a matter of fact, I'm going to...
You don't even want to get it.
I was going to say, I'm going to wait till everybody else gets the vaccine, and then I won't have to.
You're unbelievable.
Because there'll be no COVID around. Everybody will be protected except me.
Well, I will tell... that's going to be a big problem, right? Is that if, this big group of...
There are a lot of people that do not believe in vaccines, and I'm going to tell you...
The anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not crazy about vaccines. I've never had a flu shot. And... and that kind of worries me, kind of like I've never been stung by a bee. That worries me as well because I don't, I know people that have had flu shots and gotten sick from them. I think my brother got sick from the first batch of swine flu vaccine many, many years ago. And I've seen my mother. My mother's had the flu shots, especially they make one for, they make a really strong one. They make like 2 different flu shots. Like did one year anyway. I don't know if they do it every year, but one of them is like the regular dose, and one of them is for immune suppressed people. So you get like that extra. Well, that extra like makes you sick. It made my mom really sick. It's like, for 3 or 4 days, she like had like a minor case of the flu. It was like, damn.
Yeah, it's hard, right? I don't know what the right answer is with all that. I think that some of the anti-vaxxing people are fucking bananas, especially when you see cases. What was it, like a couple years ago? Was it measles or some shit? That was like measles was like running rampant in Orange County.
Yes, but I'm going to tell you, when you have a child and you think that there's a possibility that a vaccine could kill them or leave them somehow diminished mentally or physically, it's a different story.
What were they saying that the measles vaccine does?
Well, they were saying that there was a like a filler element that they put into it that can create whatchamacallit?
Autism.
Autism.
Down syndrome.
No, autism.
Spit it out.
Autism, because it's something that you get after Down syndrome. You're born with,
right?
Yeah. So it was autism, and I think Jenny McCarthy is a big. I
think her son is autistic. He's on the spectrum.
Yeah. And there's a lot of kids that are nowadays, and I don't know if it's because maybe we didn't pay much attention to it when I was growing up.
Well, so that was the thing, right? Is I was going to say that too. I don't feel like we had. when I was a kid, right, I don't remember there being, and yeah, I mean, there was Downs, you know, I definitely remember kids having Down syndrome, you know, in like the special ed classes or whatever, like learning disabled classes. But I don't remember this, you know, I don't feel like autism was a thing. And maybe it was because they didn't know enough about it, right? But I felt like everyone, you know, you had the set amount of vaccines you got as a child, and then you were okay. You were okay from smallpox. You were okay from measles. You were okay from mumps. You know, these things that were like, but I mean, those are fucking dangerous too.
Chickenpox, not smallpox.
I didn't have a vaccine for chickenpox. I had chickenpox.
I know.
There's a vaccine for chickenpox now?
I think there is,
That's scary.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, but,
I don't.
But you had a very mild case.
Yeah. They were like, you have to be careful.
I know. You could get them again.
But so, I mean, that's the thing though, right? Is it like...
Or maybe you want a vaccine.
You just said you were against vaccines.
Yeah.
Vaccine the vaccine. I just feel like... I don't know. I don't know what the, and you know, and look, I don't have any kids. I don't know what I would do if I had a child who, you know, it was like, all right, well, you know, here's the list of vaccines we can give them. What do you want to do?
There is something about putting, you know, I mean, a vaccine, basically you're putting the disease in your body and you're stimulating your immune system to, you know,
totally,
to fight it. And in that moment of fight, you're building your antibodies so that you're protected.
It's the same thing that we're talking about with this coronavirus thing, right? Is that if they can...
Well, then the other thing is that there's the East Coast and the West Coast.
Yeah, well, I mean...
So now we have to have 2 vaccines, right?
I mean, look, if they come out and they say, hey, here's a vaccine for coronavirus, and this is going to let everyone get back to a normal, you know? I mean, I think there's some things we're never going to... It's never, you know... I'm never going to sip out of your water bottle. You know, that's disgusting.
No, we didn't do that before.
I know, that's true. But I think that if we can get back to some sort of normalcy, normal, then I think that you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's get this vaccine moving. Let's get it going, right? But there's so many long-term problems with this, right? It's like how you can't test a vaccine. Who knows what's going to happen to someone in 3 years after they get this vaccine, you know? Again, maybe their cheek slowly opens up and an eye forms. Like, you don't know, right?
Or people are born with 2 extra toes.
I mean, look,
1 extra toe.
I brought that up when I was talking to my friend Peter the other day. We were talking about the fact that, you know, how we talked about, you know, they're finding traces of COVID or coronavirus in men's semen. So it's like, okay, fine. I guess that makes sense. But what does that mean necessarily for in a year from now, from the guy who has it recovered, him and his wife decide they want to have a baby, she gets pregnant. What happens to that baby when the baby's born?
It's a COVID.
No, we don't know though, right?
It's a COVID baby.
I mean, you know, who knows?
Maybe it has immunity.
Maybe. Or maybe it has 2 heads.
Well, because if it's in your sperm, then that means that you've had the COVID.
Right. But if the baby's, you know...
And you've recovered from it because obviously you're still producing sperm.
But how do we know that like the baby, like, I mean, what if babies start being born with COVID?
No, the baby would be born with immunity to COVID.
Or something weird like 17 fingers.
That's a possibility.
I mean, they're talking about COVID toes.
19.
Why 19? Oh, COVID-19? That's good. That was good, Sandy.
19 fingers and toes.
You fucking sharp you.
I got it. Yeah. I don't know, Josh. That's kind of a weird... I mean, it's, you know,
just a thought, you know, no one knows.
None of us know.
This is a brand new thing.
Apparently, SARS went away quickly too. I've heard. I mean, SARS was around for 6 months and then it died. Or no, maybe it was the Hong Kong flu back in '68.
Well, you know why? No, I mean, I think SARS did something, but they brought up a good point about, I think it was SARS. I watched this thing. They brought up a good point about it. SARS was so deadly that it didn't have a chance to, I believe it was SARS, didn't have a chance to get passed on to people because it would kill the host in a day.
Ooh, Ebola does that too.
Maybe, and also Ebola. So there was this interesting, I watched this thing called Coronavirus Explained. It's on Netflix. Pretty good. Very short. It's maybe 40 minutes or something, but it has this chart, right? And on the chart.
No, I would watch that with you. You keep asking me to watch
I've been asking you to watch a movie for 2 months now.
I know, and I don't want to sit down because I'm not a sit down watch TV.
All right, so look, it's 12:40. We'll wrap this up. I'll make a thing of popcorn. What do you mean no?
No, it's too late. I have stuff I have to do tomorrow.
All right, anyway.
Places to go, people to see.
I bet.
With my mask on.
So on the chart, there's a chart of how deadly a virus is and then how contagious the virus is.
Yep.
Right? And essentially, you want in a perfect world, you want the virus to be not very deadly and not very contagious, right?
Yeah, perfect.
But what they were talking about was when you look at some of the stuff, you look at, it was either SARS or Ebola or whatever. It talks about how when that kind of popped off, it was very deadly and it was contagious, but it didn't have a chance to spread because it would kill the host immediately.
Well, that wasn't the case with Ebola because Ebola would, or
maybe it was SARS then. One of those they talked about.
Yeah, Ebola was spread quite easily from person to person.
Right.
And quite deadly.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, though, is that what they were talking about with the coronavirus is that it is very contagious. It's not extremely deadly, but it's so contagious that now you're dealing with, and then there's other things on the chart, right?
Did they talk about the eyes?
No, because this
getting it through the eyes.
No, but like HIV is on the chart, measles, smallpox are on the chart. So they talk about these things, and it's interesting because they talk about how in a perfect world, in a perfect virus world, right? These viruses want to be extremely contagious. They want to extend the life of the host by a couple weeks.
Damn viruses.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that they have a chance to jump and spread, and then they want to kill the host. But now they've spread to, say, 20 people. Right. Whereas if you have something that's extremely deadly, it's not going to spread that easily because it kills the host so quickly.
They do have a, by the way, I found out today as well that the director of the LA County Public Health Department, Dr. Barbara Ferrer, is actually not a medical doctor. She's a PhD. A PhD in what, you ask? I have no fucking idea. But really, we don't have a medical doctor as the head of our health department. That's weird to me.
I've got two really funny things to read to you, and then I'll let you, because I know you had some stuff that you wanted to talk about. So these are both things that were sent. I have a Facebook Messenger group chat with the guys on my hockey team. Shout out Trash Pandas Hockey. I don't think any of the guys listen again.
He said, shout out Trash Pandas Hockey, which is his team. You say that, and you say it so fast that I don't think people...
Do people care?
I don't think
Who
people
even really
hear it.
listen?
I don't think they care. Who really listens? I have no idea.
At least 50 people. Watch, it's 2 people. They just listen to it. They listen to each week 25 times.
We could do that.
I know.
We could really build our stats. I know.
I'm going to start writing to our email from new emails.
That's a good idea.
Hey, Sandy, you were looking really good on the podcast the other day.
5 stars.
So this is what my buddy Nate, who I play, he's my defensive partner, or as I like to call him, my D-man. He's also a vegan, so our defensive line is the vegan D.
Hey.
All right, so he sends this. Do you know who Chuck Norris is?
Of course.
Okay.
I didn't just fall off the turnip truck.
I'm just asking. All right, so coronavirus claims a black belt. Chuck Norris, dead at 77. Carlos Ray Chuck Norris, famous actor and fighter, died yesterday afternoon in his home in Northwood Hills, Texas, at the age of 77. Chuck starred in dozens of movies and TV series which have and continue to entertain millions of people. He was also a master of martial arts, which was the cause of his initial fame in the movie industry. However, after his minor inconvenience of death, Chuck has made a full recovery and is reported to be doing quite well. It has also been reported that the coronavirus is now in self-isolation for 14 days after being exposed to Chuck Norris.
There you go. Exposed. They use that word.
They did.
Josh hates it. I use that word all the time.
I don't like, because you say this. This is what you say to me. You say, well, I don't want to have to go out and expose myself. And it's weird. It's a weird thing.
Or I don't want you to go expose
Well, I don't want you to
yourself.
go to I don't want you to go to Whole Foods to just get the bread and expose yourself to everyone. And I'm like, well, I'm not going in. And every time you fucking say that, I think about you walking into a store with a trench coat and nothing on underneath, and just walking in,
opening it up.
The doors open, you walk in on like the threshold of the store, you you expose yourself to everyone, and then you turn around and walk out.
That's my style.
It's disgusting.
That's exactly what I would do. I don't know how else to say it. Your buddy, I mean, that's
Chuck
what they
Norris.
said. They said exposed, yeah.
So then this was another thing that I just saw, which I think is kind of funny. So this was kind of this was by our friend Ian, one of the guys on my team, and this was kind of a way that the year is going, right? It's kind of like a timeline of 2020 into 2021. Okay.
All right.
So January 2020, Australia is on fire. That happened. That was the thing.
Yeah, I remember.
February, Kobe Bryant dies.
Okay.
March, COVID-19 comes to kill us all.
Yep.
April, the economy tanks, and we find out that UFOs are real. The government released like 17 documents saying that there's UFOs. May, now this is where we are. Okay, it's important to remember we are here. Giant murder hornets come. Now, we have not talked about the giant murder hornets.
Oh, no, we have not.
Holy shit.
But they're out there, for God's sakes.
You've finally reached level 4 of Jumanji. It's time to finish the game and put the fucking game away.
They're only in Washington State.
Oh, yeah, that's what they said about coronavirus, too, back in fucking March. Well, it's only in Seattle. No big deal.
It was, too. Why does everything go to Seattle?
I remember being at the gym.
Yeah.
With my buddy Mark, and we're on the elliptical.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the TV, and I'm like, yeah, this thing is spreading, huh? It's fucking took over China. Now it's in Washington. Well, it's just in Washington. No big deal.
No big deal.
And now murder hornets are in Washington. Everyone's like, that's just Washington. It's no big deal. So that's where we are. June 2020.
Yep.
Underground crab people are discovered, and they eat humans.
Ew.
So that's what we have to look forward to in June. July, apes with guns on horseback. They're going to come for the human race.
Okay, now we're like getting really weird.
I mean,
it's going to get even weirder.
August, Godzilla comes out of the ocean and he's pissed off.
Well, we should be opening up after that, right? Here in LA.
September. Now this is kind of
a wait. September's when we're gonna have the spike in cases.
So this is kind of a positive and a negative. Zombie outbreak as a direct result of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Oh, the ouch.
October, unbeknownst to all of us, My Little Pony turns out to be real. And they also eat humans.
Okay.
November.
Stupid.
November, we're going to get a second wave of the crab people. And those also eat humans. December, Cthulhu comes out of the ocean. And he's pissed.
What the fuck is Cthulhu?
He's like that giant octopus kraken guy.
Oh.
And then going into January of 2021.
Should I have known that?
Yeah. January of 2021, aliens invade planet Earth. So that's where we're going to start next year. February 2021, though, the Cleveland Browns win the Super Bowl. I'm assuming because they've never won. I'm assuming that's why that's in there.
Yeah.
March 2021, the Rapture. And then April of 2021, we look forward to Avengers 5 comes out, the movie, the Marvel
So
movie.
when do we all die?
Well,
the Rapture?
Yeah, the Rapture, yeah. But then the movie comes out, so anyone who's still left.
I don't. Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting, but
I thought it was
a little
funny.
far-fetched.
I read it. I was like, this is funny. This is cute. All right, what do you had some stuff you wanted to say to me?
Yeah, not really.
Oh, did we cover it all? I saw you over there crossing things off your list.
I do want to say one thing, and this has just been like my pet peeve like all week. Oh my gosh.
Say it.
I don't want to offend anybody.
Oh boy, here we go. It's never good when
but I probably will. Excuse me. Nancy Pelosi is trying to put through this Heroes Package or Heroes Act or whatever it is to give everybody more money. And she's talking about giving money to, extra money to first responders and healthcare workers and, and all that. And teachers. Our heroes are our teachers. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that teachers are great. And I know a lot of teachers. And I think they work really hard. But I don't know why teachers would be our heroes in a coronavirus situation. I would think a Ralph's grocery store worker would be more of a hero. I guess I'm just tired of hearing that teachers are our heroes. I mean, what are they doing? They're not working. Or if they are, they're working from home.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're all working. But they're not going into a classroom. I think, here's what I think this is, right?
I just think that we should call our heroes really the heroes that are really out there on the front lines. I mean, the truck drivers, the they haul the groceries to and from the stores, or from the manufacturing plants. The meat cutters. I know you're a vegetarian, but
vegan actually.
Excuse me, vegan. God, I just made a mortal error.
Mortal error.
A mortal sin.
Here's what I'm saying, okay? And I understand where you're coming from, okay? I think that, teachers are working. I think that what teachers have had to do is kind of relearn how to teach kids. I think that teachers are very undervalued in our society.
I think a lot.
You're not even close to the mic. Not even close.
I don't think that's true.
I think it is. I think that everyone goes, "Oh, teachers, fucking, whatever." I think teachers should make more money.
If you teach at a public school, you do pretty well, money wise.
Anyway, I think though
and depending on, if you teach in a not so great part of town, you're going to make even more money.
But I will say this though, right?
Hazard pay.
I do feel that if you have a chart or the spectrum of people working, I think that teachers are on a different level than the doctor who is putting ventilators, in people's mouths, right? You know what I'm saying?
Or the nurse that's meeting you at the emergency
room. Right, 100%.
Room,
that's what I'm saying.
Or anybody who works, I don't know. Again, I feel like teachers in this case are protected. They're at home. They're teaching, so they have to figure out a new way to teach. I get that, and I'm sure that's not easy. But what I'm saying is that let's talk about the real heroes. I don't look at teachers may be heroes in general, but in reference to the COVID-19, I don't see that they're doing anything really heroic. I think, again, that would be our first responders, our firefighters, our police officers, our healthcare workers.
Here's what I would like to see.
Our grocery store workers, our truck drivers.
But I would like...
Our toilet paper manufacturing companies.
Have you seen the Charmin commercial where they're
yeah.
We're trying to make more Charmin.
Yeah, bullshit you are. I haven't seen Charmin on the grocery store shelves since well before
8 weeks, 10 weeks, 10 weeks probably.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Here's what I would like to see, right? And my thing is this: is that I don't think that we should have to sit here in this world and pick and choose who gets hero pay or relief or I think that we should be able to live in a world. Again, I'm going to go off what I said. I think last week was everything should just been frozen. But
I know why haven't they frozen yet?
Would have made.
Come on.
I don't know. Why have they not frozen?
You put the idea out there a week ago. What the fuck? Are they not listening to you or what?
But I think that should frontline workers be paid? Should get more money? Yeah, 100%. Should teachers get more money? Yeah, give teachers more money.
Well, then I should get more money. You should get more money.
So let me finish, right? God, you every episode you have to interrupt me.
That's who I am.
Should there be a shit ton of money that goes into the beauty industry to support your local hairstylist who can't work? Yeah, there should be. Should there be more pay for the grocery store clerks? 100%. Should there be more pay for?
I wonder if they are getting paid more.
I don't know. Should there be more pay for, the people dealing with, not necessarily on the front lines, but dealing with, substance abuse, mental health, the people that are taking care of those people? Yeah, I think there should be. I think that the problem is that we live in this world where there's all of this pick and choose, right? Well, we're going to put out this new bill and here's who we're going to take care of in the bill. Right. And then it pisses off the people who are not being taken care of in the bill. It pisses off the people who are like, well, who's to say that my job isn't essential? Or, who's to say that my job doesn't matter? And
well, that's the thing is you have people that are deciding that for us.
Right. And that sucks.
Who's essential
right.
and who's not. And I think we're all kind of essential.
Well, it's just,
we're all kind of an intricate,
should there be money, given out to the small little local restaurants that have been around for 30 years that are probably not going to make it out of this? Yeah, totally. But we live in this world where that's not taken into account. It's literally this thing of, well, hey, here's this bill that we want to put forward, and here's what we think. Here's the people we think deserve it. Well, again, now you have someone higher up who's making the call.
You have a politician who's never been anything but a politician, never been out in the real world working.
Right.
They're still getting their salary.
Right.
Everybody who works for government, like local government, state government, city government, I mean, Governor Newsom and Eric Garcetti, they're getting paid. There's no problems for them.
Again,
everything's hunky-dory for them.
To go back to a little bit of what I was saying last week, I think that this thing has been handled so fucking poorly from the top down. And I think that, what it should have happened is that these politicians that are making...
The freeze.
Yeah, we should have froze everything. But these politicians that are making a shit ton of money, they should have been the first ones to step up and be like, hey, you know what? We're not going to take our paycheck. We're going to donate our paycheck to the frontline workers.
And they should have all taken Obamacare too. But they didn't, because you know what? Because they know they got a good deal going.
100%. But that is what is essentially wrong with
insurance.
The society is that you have the 1% and you have everybody else.
No, it's what's wrong with our government. We're talking about government workers. They're not the 1%.
They're not? What do their houses look like?
They're not the 1% like, Elon Musk.
Well, no, but they go, okay, so they're the 2%, right? They're not.
Well, I don't know. If they're the 1%, I don't know why they're so anxious to tax themselves more.
I mean, look, I just think that
I think they fall just below the 1%.
We have always lived in a world, as far as I can remember, where, you don't ever hear the government officials, hurting for money. They don't have to worry about their health care. They don't have to worry about,
No, and now they've got investigations going on against some of the, Dianne Feinstein's one of them. So Senate, and then maybe it's Burr. He's from, I don't know, he must be a senator. Anyway, there was 3 of them that apparently, they might have all been senators. They all sold a shitload of stock right before the stock market tanked.
Yeah, there was a ton of people that did that. It was fucking bananas.
I know, but you're not. If you're in the Senate, especially on the like, I don't know if it's the finance committee. I don't know, but Burr was like the head of one of the committees that would be dealing directly with that type of thing, and he sold a ton of stock. And, saved himself a shitload of money and losses.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, what's new, right? Like, that's the whole thing.
I know,
it's people that are privy to insider information. And on top of that, they've never had to worry about anything. And that's what I say is that when this whole thing started, the best thing that could have happened,
never any repercussion,
right, is that they should have all stepped up and said, "Look, hey." We're just either A, let's freeze everything, right? Or B, hey, we're not going to collect our paycheck. We're going to help.
Instead, they all went home and said, well, we're still going to collect our paycheck.
Like, we're okay.
Hey, we're fine.
But to go back to what you said about teachers, I don't think that we should be sitting here picking and choosing. I think that in a perfect world, you.
Oh, it just irritated me to hear her say that, listing teachers as our heroes. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what? Okay, so in general, maybe, but why are we giving extra money to the teachers right now? They're already in the state of California, they're all getting paid. I mean, public schools are. I don't know about private schools. And I'm sure, school's probably pretty much over by now. But in like LA County, they were saying the online attendance was like, 30 or 40%. So, there you go. That's how good the system's working.
Well, what a
surprise.
It's people trying to deal with something that we've never had to deal with before. How do we navigate this, right? What is the best way to do this? And
you'd think the teachers would be pretty innovative with stuff like that.
But I think that their hands are tied, right? I mean, there's only so much you can do. What can you do? You have a Zoom classroom call. You have it's fucked. Everything is fucked. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is fucked, right? And when everything starts opening back up, look, there was all the UC schools already canceled, all the fall semesters, all digital. It's all online.
I know, and they still have to pay the same tuition. It's
that's bullshit, by the way.
I know. That's like, what?
I'd be like, not a fucking chance.
Yeah.
But
I don't think so.
Again, my stance on it is, do I think teachers should get extra money? Sure. But I think that other people should get extra money. I think help out everybody. I think everybody can be heroes right now.
Well, the problem I feel with our government, like our House of Representatives and the Senate especially, is that most of these people have never been anything but public servants. So, and you have to understand that mentality. I mean, you don't get fired. There's no repercussions for, things that you do that maybe somebody in the private sector might get fired for. You don't. You have a union. The union will fight for you. You get your scheduled raises. I mean, my father was a government worker for years in many different departments. But these people they're not in touch with reality. The reality of what it's like to be out there, a small business owner, or an hourly wage earner.
Right. If you've never been in the service industry, if you've never had your own if you've never ran a small business, then of course, you never know what that's like. 100%.
I know. So they don't really know where to put the money, I guess is what I'm saying.
But again,
they shouldn't be making those decisions based on the fact that they don't have any business experience.
Like I said, look, I think
that's how I feel.
I'm totally okay with teachers making extra money. I'm okay with calling teachers heroes. I'm okay with, do I think that teachers...
You're okay with everybody making extra money.
But look, I think...
Everybody you named...
do I think that teachers are on a different level than, say, again, the nurse and doctor who's trying to save a life?
Not now.
But they are, though. They are. I mean, it's a different level. I still think teachers are important, but I think that...
All right. We'll just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not important. I'm just saying that they're not heroes within the COVID-19. I mean, if they're heroes, why am I not a hero?
Right, you can be a hero. You're a hero. You're doing a podcast. You're a hero.
I want the same benefits as the hero teachers.
You guys heard it here first. My mom Sandy.
I'm a hero. She's a hero, folks.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. What else? Do you got something else? Why doesn't what's his name listen to our podcast?
Oh, what's his name? Who is my longtime
partner?
What do we want to call him?
Spousal abuser.
Spousal abuser. It's okay. He won't listen.
I know. He doesn't
say whatever you want. No, the reason he doesn't listen to my podcast is
it's your podcast now.
Our podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I don't know whose mom is it.
I don't know who does all the producing.
Who's my mom, Sandy?
Okay, well, I'll let you edit down this episode. Let's see when it gets posted.
I'm not editing that. I'm not doing that. It won't get posted. That's fine by me. He doesn't listen because he wants to hear what's going on in my life from me instead of on the podcast. He used to listen to the podcast and then it was really weird because then I'd be talking to him and I'd be like, did I tell you this before? Or did I say this on the podcast? Or are we just first time talking about this? Anyway, he would prefer to talk to me personally about what's going on. What a little sweetie he is, huh? What a sweetheart.
Little sweet guy.
You can say something mean if you want. I said, he won't be listening.
Does he want to be a guest on the podcast? Or is that opening up a whole bag of worms?
What would we want to ask him? Why would we want him on the podcast?
I don't know. Maybe ask him if he has a ring for you.
Oh, stop it. I'm not getting married.
And you heard it here first.
Why would I do that?
The hero.
Why would I get married?
Not getting married.
It's weird because 10 years ago I would have loved to have gotten married.
Really?
I think there was a time after the divorce that I would have liked to have gotten married, but no, it's like I've been single for too long, alone. Not that I'm not envious of people that are happily married, but I just don't think I could do that.
All right, that's fair. It's very valid.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
But it does get lonely at night, folks.
And that's where the TV comes in. You thought I was going to say something else.
Yeah, we need to get our TV fixed, by the way.
It's not the TV's fault. It's the Spectrum app.
We need to get the Spectrum app fixed.
Yeah, Spectrum. That's another joke. Good luck getting them on the phone.
No, especially now. They've probably cut down their staff.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Even further.
Do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. Do I have anything else?
I don't know. Still don't have any new reviews. Last reviews from December. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, we could talk about the masks that Governor Newsom ordered.
Well, we're an hour and 5 minutes into this.
Well, let's talk about it next week.
Okay.
Because it'll still be
more
news
COVID
then for us, yeah.
All right, so
COVID story.
For everyone that's listening, thank you guys for listening. If you guys have not given us a rating or review on the Apple or Spotify or Google thing,
I think we should do an episode on what we don't have now that we have COVID.
Okay.
Like there's some funny things, like what you told me the other night, like the...
Oh, well, you don't have to, I don't know why you had to whisper it. They can still hear you.
The 5-second rule.
Yeah, you don't hear anyone dropping a piece of food on the floor and going, 5 seconds, 5-second rule, I'm fine.
Not anymore.
No one's fucking doing
COVID's
that.
on the floor.
There's sometimes I might eat, like I was eating pretzel sticks earlier and a pretzel stick came out of the bag and fell on the table. And I was like, well, that's got to go in the trash.
Oh, really?
I don't know what's been on the table.
Oh,
This
wow.
is disgusting, you know?
No, it's not. I just actually cleaned it the other night with cleaner. But anyway.
All right, well, we can talk about that next episode.
Yeah, we'll have to make
What
a
we
list.
don't have.
Really, sex, kissing. And I saw some people kissing through their masks.
Tongue holes?
No, they did not. But I did hear somebody say something about creating a mask with a zipper so you could like go to a restaurant and eat
I just feel like that.
without taking the mask off. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
I saw one
mean,
that had like a little trap door with like Velcro and like you pop that open and you put the straw in so you could like sip a drink.
Well, that makes more sense. But how can you can't expect? I mean, if you unzip a mask and you start eating a hamburger, what's the difference in
No, you
having the
better-
mask? I mean, the mask,
No.
your mouth is totally exposed to
Yeah.
the public.
No.
I mean, you'd have to have a face shield and eat behind the.
You better
face
get
shield.
it to go. You better
Yeah,
bring
you
it
better
home.
you better look for face shields.
Oh, yeah, let me just go on faceshieldrus.com and order some.
Well, I heard today that with nail salons going to open up soon, and they've created a bunch of new PPE type stuff for nail salons. Face shields is one of them, and supposedly you can buy stuff or nail salons are stocking up on stuff like that.
Yeah, I cannot wait to go to work with my mask and my face shield on. I'm sure that's not going to be hot or uncomfortable.
Or
Gonna be working
we got to wear a hazmat suit
10
too.
to 12 hour day with a mask and a face shield on. By the time this is over, my ears are going to be permanently fucking bent down forward from the strain of the elastic straps
Well,
in my
wait.
ears.
Now, do you still have to wear a mask if you're wearing a face shield?
Oh, yeah. They want mask and face shield.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And long sleeves and gloves. And you're supposed to, and see, now here's the fucking issue. You're supposed to change all that every client.
Wait, you have to change your clothes?
You're supposed to change your gloves, your mask, and your face shield after every client.
Oh my God! All the prices are gonna have to go up in order to accommodate
Probably like $1,000 each.
Yeah, the expensive.
I don't know. I don't even want to get into it because it's stressful. I don't know how they're going to navigate this, and I don't know who's going to enforce this. But I think it could be messy, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right. Well, everybody, how do you get in touch with us? Oh yeah.
Oh, thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you. We do this for you.
We don't know why you do.
We don't know why you do it for us.
Yeah, but we appreciate it for
yeah.
sure.
And we hope that everyone's safe out there and everyone's being good. And you know, for a long time we were saying stay home, but I guess just be safe.
But Josh is kind of like, you know what? Live your life.
No,
but
that's
be
not.
safe.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying be safe. Be safe. Take other people into account. Be nice to each other, and be thoughtful. You know, don't do stuff that endangering other people. And then you guys can get a hold of us, mymomsandypodcast@gmail.com, and we are on Instagram
And my mom Sandy.
at mymomsandypodcast on Instagram. We have a new episode that drops every Tuesday or Monday sometimes. When we do it. And we're still looking for people to come on and talk to us about their quarantine COVID experience. So if you guys want to do that, drop us a little email.
Oh yeah, we'd love to have.
We're still waiting for
guests.
Maxine, who invented the vaccine, to come on and catch up. That could be Growing Up Sandy Part 2.
Yeah, well, I have to talk to her first.
That's true.
I want to make sure she has something good to say about our time we spent
Call
together.
screener.
There are some fun times we had for sure.
And we're just going to leave you guys at that.
Yep. All right. Be safe out there, you guys. You got anything else, Josh?
I got nothing.
All right. Very good.
No.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 40.
Do I hear one for episode 40? 40, 40, 40. 39, 39. Can I get 39? 40, 40, 41, 41, 41, 40, 40, 40, 40, 39, 39.
I'll take 40.
We got 40, 40 in the green sweater, 40 in the green sweater, 40 in the green sweater. Drink the tea, drink the tea, drink the tea. 40 in the tea, 40 in the tea. Do I hear 40, 41, 41? Right. Do I hear 41?
We haven't even started, and it's already bad.
Every episode is bad.